This is Mitsubishi's Outlander SUV. It starts at around $40,000, comes in 5 and 7 seat configurations. It has a big boot and plenty of tech. And I reckon it's one of the best value for money family SUVs in the market right now. But if your budget can stretch further, there's this top spec plug-in hybrid model that can drive up to 1,000 kilometers without needing to recharge or refuel. So in this video, we're going to put that figure to the test with some real world driving. We're going to show you some of the cool tech, and we're going to see if that third row is fit for adults.
This is super comfy.
Onwards.
First, let's cover off the basics. This is the second largest SUV in Mitsubishi's local range, slotting in underneath the diesel-powered Pajero Sport off-road SUV.
The Outlander plug-in hybrid range starts at around $57,000, but this top spec GSR plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, to give it its full name, is the most expensive Mitsubishi sold in Australia today and is priced at just under $74,000, not including on-road costs.
Furthermore, the petrol electric Outlander is considerably more expensive than most top-spec plug-in hybrid rivals, such as the Ford Escape and BYD Sea-Lion 6, but those rivals don't offer 7 seats. Nor do they offer a 10-year warranty, the longest of any manufacturer. Ownership costs aren't exorbitant either, with reasonable service costs and potentially low fuel costs.
Righto, let's have a look at what makes the GSR model special. It's all the black visuals. This is the Black Ops model. So, starts with the blacked out grille, pretty cool. I really like the black Outlander lettering on the bonnet, that's nice. You've got these black areas here, including the fog light bezels, not too shabby. The 20-inch black alloy wheels, they're pretty nice. Plus you've got black edging around the windows. This is normally chrome on this model. You've also got black mirror caps and black roof rails, and there's also black skid plates on the front and the rear. Not that you want to skid on anything, because those skid plates are made of plastic and will probably break. This is also the only Outlander you can get with the diamond red paint job and contrasting black roof. All other models are either full black or full red, and there's a bunch of other colours too. Now, the powertrain has plenty of tricks up its sleeve and more driving modes than a high-tech Japanese porcelain throne. But at its core is a 4-cylinder petrol engine. There's also 2 electric motors, one at the front axle, one at the rear axle, and they draw from a 20 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack, allowing the vehicle to drive in pure petrol, pure electric, or a combination of both in hybrid mode.
The all-wheel drive SUV pumps through a single-speed reduction gear, similar to what EVs use, and there are 4 different modes to mess with: normal, EV, save, and charge, giving you meaningful control over the hybrid powertrain. There's also a 1-pedal drive mode that dials up the recuperative braking.
Unlike Australia's most popular hybrid, the Toyota RAV4, this one has a plug, so you can charge it from the mains or a public charging system. However, you can also discharge it because it has a bi-directional charging system. This system is rather versatile and can even be used to power your house in the event of a blackout, essentially acting as a solar battery. However, you need more hardware installed in your house to do so, and that is going to cost a lot more money.
Charging times are pretty crummy compared to cutting-edge EVs today, but the longest you'll ever need to wait is around 10 hours, which isn't too bad.
First impressions? Well, it looks and feels good. Perceived quality is rather nice, and the overall aesthetic is modern without being offensively futuristic.
The GSR features heated and surprisingly good massaging leather seats, although unlike some rivals, cooled and ventilated cushions are not offered. But the 8-way power adjustable chairs with memory settings are form-fitting, and although the leather quality on the doors feels better than the seats, they should last well. The diamond patterning is a nice touch, and the steering wheel has a really premium feel as well. It's elegantly chunky.
The GSR model gets a few interior upgrades compared to its donor model, the former flagship Exceed Tourer, and they include this overt grey stitching on the seats, the dash. There's also black headlining and a slightly different panel around the gear shifter. It's textured instead of piano black, and to be honest, they're nothing special. I feel like you wouldn't really miss these things if they were gone, and maybe something else, a different upgrade like cooled seats. would have been a better investment.
Material quality is pretty good above the belt line, with soft leather-like materials across the dash, door and transmission tunnel, but a smattering of exposed plastics look and feel scratchy. The silver plastic dials for the stereo and climate controls feel cheap as well. Storage solutions are good but not great, and it starts with 2 cup holders here, spring-loaded, and they provide excellent beverage containment. They're nicely located as well. Plus, there's a door pocket that fits the Mega Gulp and a bit more space too. That's always good. Incidental storage includes sunglasses holder, these little pockets down here, a tiny glove box, and also a rather small central bin here. There's also a storage area here that doubles as the mobile phone wireless charger, plus you've got USB-C and A ports, handy having both, and a 12-volt socket for a bit more power if you need it. The 9-inch central touchscreen is smaller than most rivals, and the graphics aren't quite as sharp and the response isn't quite as quick as others. But if nothing else, the menu system is very good. It's clear, it's concise, it's easy to find what you're after. However, most owners will default to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which work surprisingly well. Plus, you can use it wired or wirelessly. You get a lot of infotainment features with this 7-seat hybrid SUV, but the Mitsubishi Connect app is not enabled in Australia, so remote car functions are a no-go for now. I really like the 12.3-inch digital driver's display, not only because it's large and legible and great to look at, but there's heaps of useful data and it's easy to access through the steering wheel buttons. You've got an energy overlay that shows you in real time where the power's coming from, the petrol engine or the battery. Plus, there's some really cool graphics as well. When you change the drive modes, they're kind of useless, but they look sweet. And the screen I use the most though is probably the most boring and ugly. It's just the trip computer showing all the data, how far you've been, how much battery you've got left, all that sort of stuff, the useful stuff. The car features a very good looking camera array with rear, side and front cameras, as well as an overhead 360-degree surround view with crisp, clean visuals. There's no 3D mode or auto parking system though. With a full complement of airbags and an impressive safety suite, the Outlander has a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. I've spent a fair bit of time in this generation Outlander, as has my family, and the back seat always impresses me. Firstly, because for a mid-size SUV, it's quite wide. The sense of space is really good, and that's added to with loads of legroom and reasonable headroom as well. But it's the functionality that will win over family buyers. For starters, check out the seats. They slide. More boot space, more leg space. The windows, nice and large, good for kids. Plus sunshades, that's handy. You've got adjustable air vents here with its own climate control systems and heated rear seats. Don't mind if I do. This big dual pane glass roof does eat into headroom a little bit when you're leaning forward. It's not so bad when you're back, but it also makes the interior feel really airy. And when you're cruising through forests, having that view above you is pretty magnificent. Crank up the 9-speaker Bose stereo and you're looking at a very inviting family chariot. There's also really good storage back here. Check it out. Phone holder there. You can put a tablet there in here. You've got dirty tissues, that's gross. Plus USB-C and A. I really like you've got both in there. And the pièce de résistance. Down here, there's a 240-volt, 1500-watt power point, which allows you to run all sorts of gizmos, including a toaster, if you get hungry. The third row seats are described as occasional, so let's test them out. Fold that there, slide that there, that's easy enough. Whoa, bit of a stretch to get in. Shut the door, and oh my God, this is amazing. There's so much room. I can't believe how comfortable it is back here. No, look, in all seriousness, I wouldn't want to spend too much time back here. But if you're ferrying around 5 kids, 3 in the back, 2 back here, then no drama, Dalai Lama. You get a power-operated tailgate that reveals pretty good boot space considering that third row is still in place. Now we're going to have a go at folding it down. Let's see how it goes. One there. One here, and that is some pretty clever engineering. I really like what they've done there, and now we get even more boot space and a flat load floor. Pretty cool.
You've got 4 tie-down points plus 2 shopping bag hooks, which are really useful, and another 1500 watt 240 volt power point, which is super handy, as are these quick release fold down seat latches, opening up more room in the interior. If you're looking for an upmarket and very versatile SUV, the GSR won't disappoint, but is the hybrid powertrain worth the premium price? Let's find out.
Righto, I've got a few objectives on this drive, and the first one is to see how far I can go in pure EV mode, and the second is to get a handle on how the extra weight of the EV components affects the way this big bus drives. Mitsubishi reckons the 20 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery is good for 84 kilometres, and right now we're actually getting close to that number. After driving through peak hour traffic snarls, a few stints at 100 kilometres an hour on the freeway, and pottering around the suburbs like I'm doing now, I've managed to achieve 77 kilometres from one charge. And you know what? I'm pretty stoked with that, because the manufacturer claims are often a load of cobblers, and that comes pretty close. As to whether the SUV's 56 litre fuel tank can combine with the EV bits to deliver a 1,000 kilometre range, I give you my colleague Callum Hunter, who took on the challenge and, well, failed. But only just. 936 kilometres on the open road with headwinds? That's not bad. The Mitsubishi feels confident through corners and has reasonably good body control, and those big 20-inch alloy wheels shod with Bridgestone Ecopia tyres generate plenty of grip. Or put it this way, there are far less competent SUVs out there. The regenerative brakes take a bit of getting used to if you've never driven an EV before, but ride comfort is surprisingly good. It glides over rough patches of road and speed bumps, and even smaller amplitude bumps don't really upset this vehicle. It's a relaxed cruiser, smooth and quiet, and this lends the SUV a high-end quality, something that's not always associated with Mitsubishi. In terms of fuel efficiency, the Outlander came nowhere near its official claim after a week in the saddle, but if you split out urban commuting, it lands closer to 4 litres per 100 kilometres, which is pretty good. I'm in two minds about this powertrain. On one hand, I absolutely love it. I've been commuting to the car sales office all week in EV mode, charging up there, and it's quiet and it's responsive and never struggles to keep up with traffic. But it's kind of bittersweet, because in doing so, I'm lugging around this petrol engine that's doing nothing. It's dead weight. And then if the battery runs out and I'm only using the petrol engine, I'm needlessly carting around hundreds of kilos of EV hardware. I think a hybrid powertrain is something you adapt to, and over time I've figured out the best way to get the maximum efficiency out of this powertrain. And that involves recharging the battery frequently and then changing the drive mode to match the situation. For example, on the highway the petrol engine works best driving the front wheels, and it's more suited to higher speed driving, but around town and in stop-start traffic, the EV mode makes way more sense. Along with several drive modes, I like the fact there are 4 different powertrain modes, including charge and save modes, that lock off the battery for later use. The fact that it's easy to drive and delivers a luxurious experience certainly doesn't hurt the vehicle's appeal. I really like this car. It's left a positive impression on me and is the Swiss Army knife of the plug-in hybrid world. But for all that, it doesn't come cheap, and $80,000 buys a fair bit of car these days.
However, on balance, I reckon this plug-in Outlander hybrid is a smartly engineered vehicle that will suit modern families and is well worth a test drive to see if it suits you. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know. Do you think plug-in hybrids are a good idea, or should you just go one way or the other, EV or petrol?